Hi, botanists! We're ready to study flowers today. It's a really beautiful and exciting part of the plant. So we'll be filling in the final flap on our little flip book, and we'll talk about the different parts of a flower. We'll talk about three different parts and their jobs. So let's start with, why do plants have flowers? What's the purpose of a flower? Does anybody know or remember? The plant, or the flower, the flower makes pollen and seeds so that the plant can reproduce. So that's one job. So it makes pollen and seeds. So let's write that. Makes pollen and seeds. Okay. And that's so the plant can reproduce. So it makes pollen and seeds so the plant can reproduce. And then the other thing that it does is that the flower is beautiful and brightly colored and has an attractive smell, usually, to attract pollinators. Okay? So they also are designed to attract pollinators. Okay? So they make pollen and seeds so the plant can reproduce, and they attract pollinators. Okay, so you'll write that inside your flap, and it's kind of a lot of writing today, so you'll want to use teeny letters, small letters. Okay, now let's look at a flower. And let's talk about some of the parts within a flower. So here's kind of like a flower that's maybe been like cut in half. So you can, like a cross section, so you can see the inside. So there's these colored parts usually that go all the way around or on the outside of a flower. Those are called petals. You might have heard that word before. So those are petals. And the petals, the job of the petals is to attract pollinators. So they're usually brightly colored and just pretty and interesting looking. So pollinator might see those and say, ooh, I'm headed to that flower. And over comes the pollinator. And when the pollinator comes over, their little legs, they might stand on a stamen and get some powdery pollen on their legs. Okay, so these are the stamens. See these parts that stick up? They're what you would refer to as the male part of the plant, and they produce the pollen. Okay, so pollen is produced here. And if that gets on the feet or somewhere on a pollinator, and then a pollinator might come up here to the top. This whole area is called the pistil, and the little parts have different names too, but we'll focus on calling this whole big area the pistil. And so if a pollinator with pollen on it gets up here by the pistil, that pollen will get trapped inside the pistil. Right? It'll get trapped here. It's a little bit sticky and it'll get trapped. And then it will go all the way down in here where a seed will be made. And then the plant can release the seeds, or the seeds can be dispersed in different ways. And then the plant can grow again from those seeds. So there's the petal, attracts pollinators. The stamen produces the pollen, makes the pollen, and the pistil receives the pollen, and then the seed is created down here. Okay? So petal, let's say that, petal. Stamen, let's say that together, stamen. Pistil. Pistil. Petals attract pollinators. Stamens produce pollen. The pistil receives pollen to make the seed. Okay, so I want you to try and remember those three parts of a flower. Now, if you have a flower, you can go on and in the next video, you'll see how to dissect a flower. If you don't have a flower, that's okay. You don't have to do the dissecting yourself, but you can watch the video to see how to dissect a flower and to see some more of these parts up close. Okay, have fun today, botanists.